Hey, so I thought I'd talk about this because I've been thinking about it and it recently happened to me. It actually happens to me almost every time I go to an eye doctor, so I thought I'd make a video about it. All right, so I wear glasses and contacts. It should be obvious if you're actually someone who watches my videos. I normally wear glasses because they're a little bit more convenient for me, but I do occasionally put on the contacts. I actually started wearing contacts when I was 12, so it's been a very long time. Tati's older than she looks. But I recently went to this eye doctor and I don't really know how to say this, but I've had kind of nothing but bad experience with white eye doctors, Caucasian eye doctors, male or female. The Asian ones are better at what they do, in my experience, and I'm someone who has to go to the eye doctor a lot. I don't have to go a lot. I have to go once every few years, okay? But I know what I'm talking about, is my point. So I went to the eye doctor this time recently, and they actually had my contacts in stock at the eye doctor, which is surprising because normally they don't because my vision is so bad. And I have astigmatisms in both eyes, which makes it a lot more complicated. But so I went to the eye doctor and they actually had my contacts and he went and got them for me. And I asked him about, I was like, oh, do these have the lines on them? I drew a picture for you. People with astigmatisms who wear contacts need to wear contacts with lines on them physically. If you look really carefully at contacts, sometimes they don't have this and this, they just have this one. And that's because the contact itself is weighted. Because when you have an astigmatism, so imagine looking like 90 degrees, okay, or 0 degrees in front of you, okay? My vision, I can't explain it exactly. It's you can explain it better in like eye doctor language, but so say you're looking 0 degrees straight ahead of you. My vision actually changes if I look from 0 degrees to like 20 degrees. That's what an astigmatism is. Okay, it means that your vision changes depending on where you're looking, the direction you're looking. Okay. Anyway, that's why these are weighted because it has to adjust to your eye being in an astigmatism. So I asked him about the contacts. I was like, "Do these have the line on it?" And he was like, "Oh, people don't really use the line." Like I said, I've been wearing contacts a long time. I don't remember when I had started having to wear astigmatism contacts. That I was probably, I think it was like 18. The reason they have a line on them is because, like I said, they're weighted because they're different. If you don't have an astigmatism, you don't need these lines. You have one clear lens the whole way through. Okay, but so if you wear contacts with these weighted lines on them for astigmatism, they will work better immediately if you put it in properly. Obviously, this is the heaviest side because it has this line on it. So you want to put it in the proper position when you put it in your eye, okay? So I asked this eye doctor about the lines, and he was like, yeah, no one really uses the lines. No one's ever asked me that. And I was like, okay. Okay. And then I asked him, I was like, okay, well, aren't we going to do more vision tests? He was like, yeah, well, it generally takes like 20 minutes for people's contacts to roll properly on their eyes. So there's kind of just no point in checking your vision again once you have the contacts in. And I was like, that's because they're not using the lines. They're not positioning the contact properly when they physically put it in their eyes. And that's why it takes 20 fucking minutes for the contact to roll the proper way. Pissing me off, dude. The other thing is, and I've had this happen multiple times too, I have a severe correction, right? I have a significant correction. And when you're dealing with someone who has a very significant correction, for the most part, you don't want to eliminate any of that power. You don't want to go backwards. So I'm -5 something in this eye and -4 something in this eye. I'm not going to say what, but you're not, don't, so it goes up to -10 with regular eye doctors. Beyond -10, you need to go see a specialist, but they can still be corrected beyond 10. So I'm -5 and 4. You don't want to going backwards. Someone with very little correction, you can have a correction as small as like -0.25 or -1. Okay, don't fucking go backwards. Going backwards means that the eye doctor would prescribe me like 4 in this eye and 3 something in this eye. I don't do that, and I don't recommend it. And I've had it happen multiple times where the eye doctor's like, oh yeah, it looks like they test your eye and everything. They're like, oh, it looks like this is a. I'm like, did you fucking go backwards? Because what happens when you go backwards, especially for glasses lenses, is you get them. First of all, it takes forever to get them back. It takes like 2 weeks. I went to Mexico. It took 2 days, but I digress. You get them back. They're wrong. You say these are wrong. You take them back. They correct them to the prescription you were originally, to the original number that you fucking came in with. It takes 2 more weeks to get them back after they have to correct them. So my point is, eye doctors need to tell their patients to position the contact properly on your finger in order for it to go on your eye. Because the thing is like, if you put it in like this, it will eventually adjust to go like this. But if you just put it in like this to start, it would be way faster. Other thing is like, don't deny the patient. I knew that I had a bad feeling about it when he gave me the freaking like 4 something for my right eye. I was like, I don't think that's right. And I turned out obviously to be right. As like, you want to really, really, really take note of what your patient says. Be like, is your vision generally the same? Has there been a lot of change since you last had your eyes checked, your prescription adjusted? If they say, yeah, it's generally the same, stay in the same numbers as much as humanly possible. There's probably going to be a little bit of change depending on the person's rate of change, which you look at on their medical record. Sometimes there is an extreme change especially with kids. There is extreme change with kids. I think there's pretty extreme changes with older folks. But like, ask your patient, has there been a lot of change in your vision? Yes or no? And if the answer is no, stay within the same range, and you want to start properly instructing people how to put in their astigmatism contacts. Thank you. Goodbye.